It's another bad day for Donald Trump because the Wall Street Journal just announced that charges against his company, the Trump Organization, and the CFO of that company, Alan Weisselberg, are coming tomorrow, Thursday. That these charges are likely based on the tax-related scams and schemes at the company, where some top-level executives had their wages hidden through fringe benefits that didn't get classified as earned income. These aren't the biggest charges, and they're not yet directly aimed at Trump or Ivanka or Don Jr. or Eric, but they matter and they could bankrupt Trump, according to this accomplished lawyer.
It's very interesting to me that, and it doesn't seem to be coming from the Manhattan DA's office, but it's interesting and not surprising that they would approach the Trump Organization to tell them that they're considering to charge them, because that would be almost a death blow to the Trump Organization. Every single bank would call their loans if the Trump Organization is indicted. No bank will ever do business with an indicted company. And there's no way that the Trump Organization has enough capital to pay off all their loans. So they would be effectively in default of their loans and would almost certainly have to go into bankruptcy. That's a huge step. And there are all sorts of protocols and there's all sorts of evaluation that any prosecutor's office would do before they did that. In this case, New York State has a memo, the DA's office has a memo with 5 factors, and without going through all of them, none of the factors really favor the Trump Organization.
And so Mr. Goldman there, he is a former district attorney in New York, in a similar position to the people charging Donald Trump's company right now. And what he says is that this is just starting. These are not necessarily the biggest charges, nothing directly on Donald Trump, the man, yet, but this could bankrupt Trump's company, Trump and the Trump family, because if a company is indicted, they become poison to work with. If a company is merely charged, any respectable bank or other company might use that as a pretext to sever a business link, to sever loan ties, to demand early payments of loans, because you don't want to be associated with a crime family and with a crime company. And that's what's officially about to happen as the Trump Organization becomes a criminal suspect. Not proven guilty yet in a court of law, but in the business world, when like an athlete gets charged or an athlete has a scandal, often they lose their sponsorships before they're ever convicted in court. And so this could hurt Trump in the wallet well before it hurts him with the actual cases against him personally. And I think that's very, very important for a couple reasons. One, that's a real tangible consequence for Donald Trump. He hasn't really faced any yet. And while a lot of people are skeptical that he himself is going to go to prison, that he and the kids are going to go to prison, it's much easier to prove financial crimes, and it's much easier to levy financial consequences than criminal ones. And so you might never see Trump go to jail. That might not happen, but you're much more likely to see him get charged with a crime or his company charged and have to pay hefty fines or lose all these business relationships they have. And it also matters because Trump loves money. Trump and his family love money. The reason they ran for the White House was so that they could grift the taxpayer, basically stealing from the American people any way they could. So if you want to punish this family, maybe even more than jail, taking away their money, taking away the billionaire status, taking away their wealthy identity and reputation could be the biggest hit of all. And this isn't to say that criminal charges aren't coming. They're not coming now, but the investigation is just starting. So this move alone could put Trump in bankruptcy, and later moves could put him in a jumpsuit.